Help me reach 1,000 subscribes. Support the video with a like and leave your thoughts in the comments. I read every comment. Thanks. I didn't think a single message could change how I saw my entire relationship, but that's the lie we tell ourselves until it happens. I'm James, 38, product manager, divorced once, cautious with trust, or at least I thought I was. Elizabeth and I had been together just over 2 years. No chaos, no screaming fights, no obvious red flags. The kind of relationship people describe as solid. We didn't live together yet, but we spent most nights at my place, cooked dinners, shared calendars, talked about trips we'd take someday when work slowed down. It felt grown, stable, safe. Elizabeth was polished in a way that drew attention, without trying. Calm voice, measured reactions. She listened when people spoke. That's what I liked most. After my divorce, I promised myself I'd never be with someone unpredictable again. Elizabeth felt intentional. She said things like communication matters and I don't play games. I believed her because I wanted to. Her ex, Daniel, was a footnote in our early conversations. College boyfriend. Dated for years. Ended mutually. Still friendly. I didn't love that part, but I told myself adults can handle adult histories. I wasn't insecure. Or so I kept repeating. Over time, his name came up more often. Casual mentions. Daniel moved to Austin. Daniel started a new job. Nothing alarming, just present, like background noise you stop noticing. The message came on a Wednesday afternoon. I was in a meeting when my phone buzzed. I glanced down, expecting something routine. Instead, I read it twice. Hey, just a heads up. I'm going on a sudden trip with my ex this weekend. Hope you're okay. No emoji, no explanation, no follow-up. Just that. I didn't respond right away. I finished the meeting on autopilot, nodded at things I didn't process, closed my laptop, and read the message again. Sudden trip. With my ex, hope you're okay. It was phrased like a weather update, not a decision that might fracture trust. My chest felt oddly hollow, not angry yet, just empty. I considered asking questions. Where? Why? When did this happen? But something about the casual confidence of the message stopped me. It assumed acceptance. So I typed, no problem. Hit send. Put my phone face down. If you've ever ignored your instincts to seem reasonable, hit the like button so this story reaches others who've done the same. That night, Elizabeth came over like nothing had happened. Same soft smile. Same kiss on the cheek. She talked about work, about a co-worker's promotion, about a restaurant she wanted to try. She didn't mention the trip. I didn't either. Not because I wasn't bothered, but because I was watching. I wanted to see how easily she could carry on while knowing what she just told me. Later, lying in bed, she scrolled through her phone, angled slightly away from me. I stared at the ceiling, replaying the wording of her message. Hope you're okay. Not can we talk. Not how do you feel. Just an assumption wrapped in politeness. I realized then that this wasn't about jealousy. It was about relevance. Whether my place in her life required consideration at all. The next morning, she kissed me goodbye and said, I'll text you later. Her tone was light, almost relieved, as if a difficult conversation had been successfully avoided. I watched her leave and felt something settle inside me. Not rage, not sadness, clarity, quiet and sharp. Over the next 2 days, I noticed things I brushed off before. How often Daniel's name surfaced when she talked about memories. How quickly she defended him when I asked neutral questions. How she framed their past as something pure I shouldn't feel threatened by. I hadn't been competing with her ex. I'd been auditioning against a memory. Comment below if you think staying friends with an ex has real limits in a committed relationship. I want to know where you draw the line. Friday evening, Elizabeth texted again. Heading out early tomorrow. Back Sunday night. No mention of missing me. No reassurance. Just logistics. I replied with a thumbs up. I wasn't playing games. I was collecting information. That night, alone, I sat on my couch and replayed the last 2 years in reverse. The compromises I made to be easy. The moments I chose silence over friction. I saw a pattern I didn't want to admit. I had been adapting to her boundaries while she never adjusted hers. If one word comes to mind right now, respect, loyalty, or clarity, type it in the comments. Don't overthink it. By Saturday morning, I wasn't anxious. I was focused. When someone shows you how replaceable you are, you don't argue. You observe. And you decide. Elizabeth boarded her flight with her pass. Convinced my calm reply meant consent. She didn't know yet that no problem wasn't forgiveness. It was distance forming. Quietly, permanently. Share this story professionally with someone who believes silence always means acceptance. It doesn't. I didn't know then how the weekend would end, only that something fundamental had shifted. The relationship I thought I was protecting was already gone. All that remained was how I chose to respond when she came back. Elizabeth landed Sunday evening. I knew because her location reappeared without comment, like nothing had happened. No, I'm back. No, we should talk. Just presence restored. As if the weekend was a private detour I wasn't entitled to question. I didn't text her. I wasn't sulking. I was waiting to see if she would notice the silence she created. She came over Monday night, smiling, suitcase still in her car. She hugged me longer than usual, maybe sensing something had shifted. The trip was a lot, she said, vague on purpose. I nodded and asked if she wanted water. She followed me into the kitchen, talking about traffic, about how tired she was. Still no explanation. That told me everything. We sat on opposite ends of the couch. She finally said, "You've been quiet." Not concerned. Observational. I looked at her and asked, calmly, "How long have you known you wanted to go on that trip with him?" She blinked, surprised I'd gone straight there. "It just came up," she said. "It wasn't planned." I waited. Silence does something to people. They feel it. "I didn't think it was a big deal," she added. "We're adults." "That's interesting," I said, "because adults usually talk before making decisions that affect their partner." She frowned, defensive now. "I told you," she said. "You said no problem." There it was. The trap. My compliance uses consent. I said no problem because I needed to see how much space you thought you could take without asking. I replied. My voice didn't rise. It didn't need to. You didn't check how I felt. You didn't explain. You didn't reassure. You assumed. She crossed her arms. "So what, you're mad now?" I shook my head. "I'm not mad. I'm clear." That word landed differently. She sat up straighter. "Clear about what?" she asked. "That I'm not in the kind of relationship where I'm informed after decisions are made." I said, "Or where my role is to be okay with whatever keeps you comfortable." She laughed once, sharp. "You're being dramatic." I smiled, not warmly. "You went on a weekend trip with your ex and expected me to applaud your independence. That's not drama. That's misalignment." She stared at me like she was recalculating. "Nothing happened," she said quickly, "if that's what you're thinking." I believed her, and it still didn't matter. This was never about cheating. I said. It was about priority. And I wasn't one. Her expression softened just slightly. "I didn't realize it hurt you this much," she said. I nodded. "That's a problem. You didn't realize. Because you didn't ask." She opened her mouth, then closed it. For the first time since I'd known her, she had nothing prepared. I stood up, not to intimidate, to conclude. "I think we want different things," I said. "You want freedom without accountability. I want partnership with consideration." She stood too, suddenly anxious. "James, don't do this over one weekend." I looked at her, really looked. This wasn't one weekend. This was a test you didn't know you were giving me, and you failed it. She reached for my arm.